Alrighty. Okay, let me explain to you guys what we've gotten here today, okay? Because this is going to be a little confusing. So I'm going to try my best to explain it to you guys. The uThermal 2v2 circuit has had 5 monthly editions. And 16 players qualified for the grand finale from the standings, right? Now, 15 people were ahead of the rest. Okay, that includes me. Let's go, the homies. And between the next 4 players, they were all tied at 3 points. So now they have to play a tiebreaker for 1 spot in a 2v2. Which is obviously incredibly weird. Now, I guess we have enough time. It's going to be a best of 5 rather, so I can just explain you guys all of it. So the reason why only 1 player qualifies and not 2, even though it's 2v2, is because the main event format is going to be individual, meaning you're going to be in a group of 9 players and you will play with everyone as teammate once. So even though it's 2v2, the main tournament is individual. So the way the format for this tiebreaker works, I tried to figure it out. Hero Marine also was tied with them, but he couldn't attend. He had... or he was very busy with school, so it's going to be between 3 players, even though you see 4 players here. I suggested a lot of different formats to them. In the end, you know, I didn't want to be too strict. They could choose, whatever, it's fine. In the end, they ended up choosing this format. They actually suggested this themselves, which is that Lambo... Oh, wait, I should explain. Gerald, Nicorakt, and Lambo are tied. Harsem didn't have enough points, okay? So... Lambo suggested that he can play with Harsem a 2v2 against these guys. If Team Lambo wins, that means Lambo qualifies for the grand finale. If Team Nicorakt and Gerald win, they play a best of 3 1v1 between each other to decide who of them qualifies. Okay, so it's pretty confusing. And it's actually a Nexus first, by the way. It's pretty confusing, but yeah, we'll get there. Whether it's fair or the best solution, I don't know. But this is what the players have decided, so here we are. So anyway, Team Lambo and Harstem, obviously Zerg and Protoss. Very popular players, both of them. And then Nicorakt and Gerald are going to be Terran and Protoss. I actually don't really know who I would call the favorites here, to be honest. I feel like they have been relatively similar in terms of performance throughout all of it. Nicorakt and Gerald, I think, have not made a single semifinals, but they have made 3 quarterfinals. Okay. Lambo and Harstem have made 2 quarterfinals as well. Lambo has made 3, Harstem has made 2. Lambo made it one time with Kelazur, I believe. And yeah, they're kind of in like that mid-range. I do think Lambo and Harstem have had some very good series against some really high-level teams. Like, for example, I think they barely lost to Spirit and MaxPax, if I remember correctly, which are obviously the best team of this circuit, seed 1 and 2. So I guess we'll see. I think it's going to be a pretty even match. I know Lambo has been very interested in the 2v2, so it's possible that he has cooked up some classic Lambo builds that he likes to do in 1v1, but for 2v2. I do have to say, this is freaking crazy, by the way, that he went Nexus first over here. The reason why he did that, if you're curious, is just because I think they must have pylon scouted the other team, and they blocked his Nexus, so he had to build it here. But going Nexus first here looks insane. Besides that, we have an Oracle from Gerald. Very interesting build from Nicorakt here to go straight for tanks, bunker, and marines. It makes sense, exactly like what you said, Zardiant. Zerg Protoss have a lot of very strong cheeses, in particular Link Stalker can be very hard to defend because Protoss wants to open with Oracle or Void Race, but they don't do anything against the Stalkers and then the Links kill everything else, so it makes sense. Lambo is making a lot of Zerglings, but Harstem is actually going for Phoenix instead of Mass Stalkers, so I guess we'll see how that's going to play out. Looks like they are going to catch that Reaper. 3rd CC going down from Nicorakt. Yeah, I think this first game is going to tell me a lot. So Gerald is going for Oracle. Where's the Oracle been, actually? Oh, it's over here. Okay, I don't think it's done anything yet, right? No, 0 kills. He did use the energy recharge on it. Yeah, I think this first game is going to teach us a whole lot. Lambo only on 25 drones, by the way. But they're playing very safe. They do have the 1 Oracle as well. The Oracle barely sees those Zerglings, actually, but I don't think he was paying attention there. I mean, Phoenixes can lift the tanks, right? Don't forget about that. Phoenixes can easily lift the tanks. It seems like that's what they are going for. Are they going to commit into that many Marines, though? I'm not. I mean, it kind of seems like that. That's 60 Zerglings on the map, guys. 60 Zerglings for Lambo. He's now going to go for the tanks. Nicorect was not expecting this. Probably should lift that other tank too. I think that would be a good play. Stalker's focus firing down the first tank. Second tank is going to get lifted as well. The Oracle is nowhere to be seen. I have to imagine it's like in Harsam's main or something like that. But this attack, I mean, with freaking there's still 50 Zerglings on the map. 16 more on the way. This seems like we're heading towards a pretty easy win here for Team Red in game number 1. I didn't think oh my god, look at his comments that are 99%. I didn't think Phoenix Zergling would be a killing team composition. I mean, I know Link Stalker is very scary. I didn't know Link Phoenix was scary like this, but I guess it is. These Links have +1, by the way, if you guys are wondering. Absolutely demonically strong. That Cyclone does nothing against Zergling. It's going to fall very, very fast. And yeah, I mean, I don't think they can really recover from this, right? There's no stim on these Marines, I believe. Absolutely no upgrades. Command Center still hasn't been finished as well. They are kind of surviving, but it's pretty hard to see. I mean, 48 workers on the side of Arston, more than the entire opposing team combined. +1 Lings are also just insane. Like, even against these tanks and these SCVs, they're going to be absolutely fantastic. Still a couple Phoenixes out as well. It almost feels like Hearthstone kind of went for a little bit of a mind game build with the Phoenixes. Like, I know he used them to lift the tanks, but he went Phoenixes, but he doesn't actually have that many. He made an Oracle as well. I think that Oracle was for DTs, probably, if I had to guess. Very smart choice to go for that Oracle there, because DTs, in my opinion, freaking broken in team games, honestly. Like, very, very, very strong. Lambo still has not made a single drone since he started making Zerglings. 3 hatcheries. Full of Zerglings. I'm actually surprised that they're still alive. They're not really alive, but they're still kind of alive. Massive stasis there. Nicorect is on 9 supply, which is horribly sad. Oh, I love the team play over there. I think we could see Lambo ping that Oracle. That was... I always like seeing that. No, Gabe was too busy with school, he said, so he forfeited his spot in the tiebreakers. He might still play the open qualifiers, I don't know, but he at least he said he wouldn't be able to make it because of school. Now, I do have to say, Gerald is known for his fantasy GG timings, and I think we could see it come out a little bit here. So, alright, very decisive win for Team Red in game number 1. Now, this game did teach me a little bit. I feel like Nicorect and Gerald have a more typical approach to 2v2, Oracle, Terran being safe. Proto Zerg played pretty much how you're supposed to as well, playing very aggressive. And now I'm curious what they're going to follow up with in the next game. Like, are they going to go for Hellions to counter the Zerglings or something like that? It's going to be interesting to see. Alright, game number 2 is going to be on Breakwater. It's actually interesting if you think about it, that they did that strategy on Emerald City, which is the most campy map. Makes you wonder what they're going to do on this map. Also, that was from a Nexus first, by the way. Not usually an aggressive opening, you would think. I mean, I know Hearthstone had a couple Stalkers, but he really didn't contribute much more than lifting the tanks, right? Like, the 60 Zerglings with +1 did everything after that. See, gonna make a gateway this time. Okay. Does make sense on this map. You know, I've wondered. Me and Goblin have kind of figured out, which is not revolutionary at all, by the way, not trying to make it sound like that, that you should just always share control. Not for a specific purpose, but just so you can help each other out. You can use your allies, Blink Stalker, Spellcasters, etc. I wonder how many of the players actually do share control. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, pinging certain units to tell your teammate to move them. But if shared control was there, you could just do it yourself. Is sharing control terrible in big fights? I actually don't think it is, no. It's bad in some situations. Like, I think Goblin had once where I was playing Zerg. He tried to box Zergling Stalker and then he couldn't blink. Overall, it just seems good to do it pretty much every time, though. Especially in a Terran team, because then you can control the depots as well. I can use my teammates' Blink Stalkers to blink for a medevac if he's not paying attention. It's, I think it's actually really good, but if you are a chronic boxer, then yeah, that might be a little bit of a problem. Now, no particularly interesting openers yet from either side, just the standard stuff, really. Nexus is gonna get blocked again. Hearthstone is going for a 2-gate. I guess that's the most notable thing so far. No wall off by Gerald. I've seen MaxPax do this too. I don't really know why you wouldn't wall off against Zerg, to be honest. I guess the Terran can wall it off eventually, but I don't know. I feel like walling off is just comfortable. Low ground wall is also quite good. Obviously a little scary against Stalkers, of course. The Nexus is about to finish for Gerald. Way faster than Harsum Nexus is going to be, of course. He's trying to block another one. I think they have done a good job mind gaming, actually. They have done a good job mind gaming because, you know, it looks like it's going to be a link flood with 2 gates. This probe is going to go across to make a pylon as well. Okay, the Reaper... No, he was trying to catch the Reaper. Okay, I was about to say the Reaper is about to catch the attack. That is not what happened. Pylon's going to go down right now, I would imagine. The Arsum still hasn't made anything else, right? It looks like he still wants to expand. It just hasn't happened yet. Exactly, there we go. Okay, Hellions from Zardian this time. No Oracle from Gerald. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. From my 2v2 knowledge, these guys are gonna die again. It would be a little sad if that was the case, that it die right away, but I don't think they have the setup to defend this at all. I mean, this is... Look at the unit tab. This is 26 Lins and 4 Stalkers against 1 Stalker and 2 Hellions, basically. I don't think they can survive this. I think they're dead again. The Hellions are not even here to do anything. I mean, this is going to be a very, very fast best of 5 if they keep playing like this. The wall is not complete against a Zerg. I told you guys. Yeah, I mean, this is... Oh, that's painful. I mean, these guys are deserving the win because the opposing team, they do not seem to be aware of the builds that you need to use to stop these kind of things. They figured it out. They're using a lot of aggressive builds. That tank is going to die instantly. I don't even know where the Hellions went. They're not really doing anything here. One tip I can give you guys, Hellions are not good to catch reinforcements because they need non-stop micro. And okay, I mean, so far this is 2-0 in like 11 minutes or something. This is not fantastic. I would give them tips, but as the tournament organizer, that would be a little biased, of course. I can actually give you guys a little quick tip at how you're supposed to deal with this. If you play Terran against Protoss Zerg, most of the time you're going to want to play fast double factory from gas first, just so you can have both Hellions and tanks. If you don't do that, it's extremely hard to defend this kind of stuff. I mean, this game, they were also too greedy. Like, no Oracle is always going to make it really difficult. No wall, no bunker. And, I mean, I hope they turn it around completely for game through. Otherwise, we're looking at a 14-minute best of 5 here. Okay, 2-0 in 11 minutes or something. I do wonder what the exact time is, because we might be on track for some kind of record here. Okay, we're playing on the Crimson Research Lab. We are 1 game away from Lambo qualifying, by the way, for the grand finale. So for the Lambo fans out there, that is fantastic news. I also would like Lambo to qualify because he seems like he is quite into the 2v2 stuff, and I enjoy the passion. Is this live? Absolutely not. I saw your comment coming in advance, so I already commented on it beforehand, you know. I mean, if I was Team Red here, I would just play something aggressive again. If they don't... That's a misplaced pylon, isn't it? I don't think he can actually wall this off properly. This looks messed up to me. That is what it is. Interesting, by the way, that Gerald always scouts insanely fast and Harsum doesn't even scout a lot of the time. They can totally punish this, by the way. There are aggressive builds that you can do in this matchup specifically. You can go for double gate, 3-Rex Reaper, or double gas. Yeah, double gas from Terran is actually okay. Double gas from Terran plus 2 gate, or I don't know, proxy Oracle, whatever, you know. There's a bunch of options, especially in 2v2, but they are not punishing it so far. I mean, from my POV, as the new best 2v2 player, no, just kidding. But I do know a lot about 2v2. They pretty much have 2 options. Either they just do a better macro build where they can actually survive stuff, which would be, for example, double factory. Could also be extra oracles for mass stasis wards, or they just do something more aggressive. They're already not doing something more aggressive, so they really have to step it up. And I feel like at this point, I know that Gerald watched me and Goblin play in our last run, so he must be aware of some of the builds. He might be afraid to do a new build that he's not familiar with, but I would really like it if he did. Once again, Nexus... oh no, he's not even blocking anything here, actually. Yeah, look at this wall. This is... Me and Goblin always make fun of each other. Sometimes it just happens where you make a terrible wall. Look how ugly this is. It's just terrible. Am I considering a new name? I am still considering a new name, yeah. I already got a lot of suggestions, but you guys can just keep them coming. Mark and Cheese. I've never used Mark and Cheese before. I think that's a pretty good one. Might be Mark and Cheese or Remarkable for the next name. I think both of those they're pretty fire. Let's look at this Reaper Micro by Nicaragua. This is you can't jump down here. This is a dead Reaper. You can't actually escape here. There's no jump up. Okay, that's painful just because they've been getting cheesed a lot. You know what's the thing here? This is annoying regardless if they're getting cheesed or not, because if they're getting cheesed again, they can't scout it. If they're not getting cheesed, they're still going to be scared because they've already gotten cheesed twice, right? And let's see. Nicaragua. Okay, so this is the switch up of Nicaragua. He is going for a second barracks instead of the third command center. He's making tanks instantly. So he does think that tanks are the right solution. Is that second Oracle? First Oracle. Yeah, I would say it's looking pretty good for the red team. If Team Red doesn't go too aggressive, I think it's looking really good for them, because I can just tell you guys from even 1v1 experience, if you go for Marine Tank against Zerg, it's a nice free adept kill. If you go for Marine Tank against Zerg without making Hellions or Reapers first, you are always behind no matter what. Like, you just can't really do anything in that situation because, ooh, those... Oh, I thought they were Phoenixes, never mind. I thought they were hunting for the Oracle already. They did find it instantly. Yeah, so Nicaragua is playing a build that he can't push with, which is going to be rough for them. Gerald went Oracle against Phoenixes, so that's also going to be a bit scary. Do love the stasis wards, though. Notice how they are adapting to the situation, right? Extra stasis wards, extra save by Nicaragua. Yeah, I think they might have something here, you know? It's going to be a big tank push with Stim. Probably Medivacs, I want to guess. Could also be Liberators or something, but I think it's probably going to be Medivacs. And then Gerald is going to have a lot of Blinkstalkers. Arsem is not going to have much besides Phoenixes, and I imagine he's going to go for one Immortal and then Colossus, something along the lines. Lambo is going for the Roachwarren. I saw that, right? Yeah. Roachwarren over here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really think the build orders look pretty good for Team Red. Harsem is... How is Arsem up 9 workers compared to Gerald? Well, it's 7 now. I guess 8 if you go in between the production times. That is kind of absurd, isn't it? How is his eco been that much better than... They both did 1 gate expand, as far as I remember. Yeah, he might have forgotten a couple of SCVs there. I don't think any workers have been killed. It doesn't really look like it. Third Nexus already going down for Mr. Gerald, though. And you can hear that he's... Every time you hear a stasis ward, you can just hear that he's playing more safe, which is good. Okay, yeah, this is a really interesting one because I don't think I've really seen these builds before. I've seen and played a lot of 2v2s. What these guys are doing kind of looks like 2 specific 1v1 builds mixed together, right? Like, Lambo is playing Mass Roach with double upgrades, which I guess is mostly similar to ZVT, I would say. Arsem is also playing a PVT build, so they're basically both playing as if they're playing against Terran. And it's gonna go up against Blinkstalker Tank. Tanks counter literally everything they have, by the way. Tanks counter both of their armies combined. Like, I'm not saying he would win, because it's 2 armies against 1. But tanks are gonna counter everything they have. Gerald's going for a DT Shrine, which I really like. I think I mentioned in the last game, DTs are freaking strong in team games. Like, it's just crazy. Because you need so many more places where you have detection, especially if a War Prism gets in. Like, there's no detection here, no detection here, no detection here. And even if there is detection, like where the Spore Crawlers are, you still need units. So it's basically 6, 7, 8 bases, depending when the DTs hit, that you need to defend against them. Have detection and units in the right place, and they one-shot all the workers, right? So DT is really a great choice, pretty much in every game, I would say. Now, Team Lambo is going to hit a very strong timing attack at some point. Immortal, Colossus, Roach, Ravager. Okay, I mean, compare these armies, and I think you'll realize who's gonna win. Okay, compare these 2 armies together. Please just run for your life. Don't even come back. He's lucky the Phoenixes weren't there, else they might have jumped on it, to be honest. Okay. I mean, with Blinkstalkers, you're pretty much always safe, but keep in mind the Phoenixes. That's 7 Phoenixes, right? 8 Phoenixes on the map. He can lift 8 Stalkers, and they're pretty much all guaranteed to die, right? So he has to be very careful. Good stasis wards. No combat shield yet on the side of Nicorette, but it's coming online soon. I definitely think, not to be too critical, because I didn't see it directly. Maybe I'm wrong. I definitely think Gerald made some macro mistakes this game. His supply just feels very low for 7 minutes 40 in game. Like, sure, he has Archons. He has the Forge, he has the DT Shrine. I do think he probably should have had a couple more units at this point. Nicorette also only on 51 workers because he was very defensive early on. Definitely good mind games being played by Team Red, going for the double cheese, then playing Phoenixes again, making it look like it's potentially the same thing. I would love for him to stim in there instead of going back. I mean, I know they're in danger, but oh man, that would have been brutal. This entire mineral line would have been decimated. They're going to see this absolutely massive army now. There's 5. These tanks need to be protected 100%, by the way. Like, they're not allowed to lift these tanks. Okay, I know he want. Look at these tanks are going to go so freaking ham, by the way. Oh, that was an F2. That was... I know my F2s when I see them. I'm an F2er myself, okay? I mean, that was pretty obvious. Okay. Yeah, they're up 80 supply, but it's a lot of roaches. Tanks are out of position. Ooh, that's painful. That means this base is very likely to die. They could still get a good situation out of this, though. No recall on this base. Oh, look at this. Pylon gets targeted. 3 batteries, warp in, and a cannon all get taken out pretty much, which is brutal. I hope for Team Blue they don't find that base, because that is pretty much Gerald's last hope for economy here. He's going to let the probes escape, which is a little painful, though. Lambo is now going to go for the Hydra, then. Which most likely means they're going to end up having lurkers. Okay, so they... Actually, wait, this is so similar. Look at this. They traded a base for a base, and they both have a semi-hidden base somewhere else. Now, sadly, for Nicorette, he is going to lose 2 medevacs. Gerald's still only at 111 supply, by the way. What does he even have? 14 Stalkers and an Archon. Wait, has he used DTs yet, by the way, guys? I don't think I've seen him go for a DT, even. Did he just make it for fun? I mean, I know he hasn't had too much gas. Also, only 2... No, he forgot to take his gases, I think. He's been on 70 workers, but he hasn't been mining from these gases. I mean, only Phoenixes were here, so there was no way he could have died. He's missing 4 workers in gas this entire time. So he couldn't have warped in DTs, which is a little painful. Okay, he does have cannons and... Oh, maybe he didn't warp them in because the Phoenixes saw the DT Shrine. That would be fair enough. I can totally see that. Even in that case, I would still go for them, by the way, because they're just so freaking good. Okay, so... Nicorette actually has the strongest army in this game for now. But their army is too big for him to actually move out with it, which is very scary. Yeah, for a second, I thought that he was throwing down 4 turrets there, but it's a couple depots as well. Gerald's going to go for the mothership. Motherships are awesome, by the way. In 1v1, they are awesome. In 2v2, well, I would say I was going to say they're more awesome, but they're probably just equally awesome. Saturation, not that good. Yeah, okay, I feel bad for Gerald because I'm kind of like catching him, but we're definitely catching him on a bunch of macro mistakes. Still 2 workers missing out of each gas. This base has 35 workers. Could send 4 over here for perfect saturation. Not mining from these gases. Didn't transfer to this gas as well. Yeah, the macro here on Gerald's side is... Look at his resource ratio as well. It's 1400 minerals for 150 gas. He needs that gas. The tanks were too far out of position. Oh, those zealots going in. It's a very good move by Hearthstone there. He was trying to bait the army to coming back. So this is another base. Actually, this base might not die because there's barely any anti-air over here. Biles could do a good job. I think it's a really good show for Nicorette that he went back around. This is kind of... you know, normally when something goes bad, you don't want to give it up, so you go... What's it called? The sunk cost fallacy? Is that what it is? Where, you know, okay, I'm going to lose the base. It's already bad. I'm just going to go in here. He would have lost absolutely everything. So it's very patient by him to actually go back around. That's a really good move, especially in... Quite literally an elimination game here, right? Tunneling claws by Lambo. Oh, this entire base. That cannon's gonna finish barely in time. I don't think... Oh, he's gonna go for the cannons instead. Okay, I do think he maybe could have killed every single worker there. He could have... Okay, I was gonna say he could have warped in DTs here. He warped in 1 DT, but he didn't warp in the others because he's still missing gas. How does he have 4 gases where there's 1 worker missing? Okay, good splits there by Nicorette. That was very, very clutch. They are going to be able to deal with this on top. There's more DTs showing up now. I do like the idea of a Nidus by Lambo. Niduses are Well, it's kind of like DTs, right? Like, there's just more bases to attack, so it's harder to cover. Okay, this is kind of sad. The one lurker actually... Please kill it. Thank you. Okay, I mean, Gerald is at 80 workers, 150 supply. He's definitely stabilizing pretty strongly. Nicoruk is literally maxed. Okay, this is the time in the game for Terran where it gets a little scary. And the reason why I say that is because he is maxed out and he kind of needs to find his way to better units, but he doesn't really want to. It looks flankable, but those couple lurkers in the back are going to scare them away, so he's not going to go for that. Okay. Let's see, how many tanks do we have left? We have 7 tanks left. Nicoruk only on 57 workers, but Lambo also only on 60 workers, by the way. Which is very little for a Zerg. He's going to go up to 73 now. More lurkers are being morphed. This Overseer is definitely trying to get a nice spot. I mean, we found ourselves into a big macro game. And this is the kind of game that I wanted to see. Because from what I've seen, Nicoruk is a little bit out of... how should I say this? Past my era of pro gaming. I didn't play against Nicoruk a lot when I was still a pro player, right? I just played him here and there. And he's pretty much gotten good after I already quit, so I don't have too much experience playing against him. What I've seen, he is also a good macro player. I think every single player in this lobby is a good macro player, so this could be very interesting. I don't think Team Red has been doing a fantastic job, though. Like, such good map control so far. Haven't really given away anything. Nicoruk dealing with the Nidus nicely. 3-3 coming online for Nicoruk the fastest. Gerald going for Tempest. Okay. Do we have such a transition from Hearthstone yet? No, still Phoenix Colossus seems like. Disrupt... Okay, by the way, as a Terran player, Disruptor Lurker Colossus sounds like my biggest nightmare. Like, that's just disgusting. Okay, I do not ever want to play against Lurker Disruptor. They don't have detection here! No, he burrowed like 7 Hydras instead of the Lurkers! Oh my god, this is a crazy fight. Wait, they didn't have a single Overseer or Observer there. That is very surprising. It's gonna snipe a couple more Disruptors. I can tell you guys something about Gerald that I hear from all of my Protoss friends that get to play against him, is that Gerald is an absolute menace in PvP on the ladder. He is someone that really likes sitting back, making cannons, forcing the late game, and then he's very good at controlling like the Disruptor Tempest late game, so it could really be a good strength there for him to have. He's gonna lose 4 tanks there pretty easily. I'm not sure if I mind him... Actually, no, he's gonna have to go up against Lurkers now. Oh, that sucks. I was gonna say, I'm not sure I mind him losing the tanks, because against Zealot Zergling, tanks are really not that great. But he needs them against the Lurkers. He can't fight against that with Bio, and this is another wonderful move by Team Red here. Let's see. The Tempest should be ultra good against Colossus, by the way. I mean, Gerald can hold this attack on his own. This is fascinating, by the way. Look at how Team Blue is splitting their armies one by one, and Team Red has a half on each side, basically. That's very cool. I like that. I don't think I've seen this particular kind of split before. What I personally really like to see from Zerg is that Zerg gives spellcasters to the Protoss. So, for example, Hearthstone could be playing with Mass Blinkstock. Oh, this fight is going to be extremely painful for Nicoruk here. He might clean it up eventually, but that's Lurkers fighting against Bio. Nicoruk just below 100 supply. I mean, Gerald probably has the strongest army in the game, but if Nicoruk gets pushed through here, I don't know if they're going to be able to stabilize. Well, I do have to say, Team Red doesn't have as many bases as I thought they would have with this kind of army, or map control, sorry. Zealot Lurker against Bio sounds absolutely devastating, by the way. Hey, look! Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say, Nicoruk has so much gas, he could give it to Gerald right now, but Gerald has enough gas for the first time, so that's a little painful. He's just right-clicking the Nexus. Okay, this move I actually don't like, because if you look at the supplies, it's not like Team Red has such an overwhelming amount of supply. I don't really like sacrificing units for a base at this point. I think they should have played it a little more controlled there. How many Tempests is this? 7? 13? Oh yeah, there's more here. There's 13 Tempests on the map. Okay, if this was me, I would have A-moved across the map already. That's kind of the way I play. If you get yourself into a situation where your eco is absolutely garbage, but your army is good, I think you just go for it. These guys are way more patient than I would be, that is for sure. Nicoruk, okay, he has 80 supply, but only 23 workers, so he still has 60 army supply, roughly. I mean, if they're... Look at the income, guys. If they're not gonna move across here, Like, each of the players has more income than both of them combined. Okay, Gerald's army is insane, but I'm not sure they can move across. I mean, there's 24 Blinkstalkers on the side of Hearthstone, so that's very hard to deal with Tempest. He's going to need more disruptors for that. Once again, another nice Nidus catch for Nicorakt. Man, losing those 4 tanks in the end might have been the most painful thing. If he had his bio there with the tanks, none of this on the left side would have happened, actually. Sounds kind of vicious if I put it that way, like I'm blaming Nicorakt, but if he had bio with his tanks over there, I think this game would have probably still been even, or maybe blue team would have won already or something. I don't know. Now, this push is going to be unstoppable. Yeah, this is the hard part. Terran does not have any units that can comfortably attack into lurkers. Protoss is a little better at that with like Zealot Immortal, maybe even Archons to some degree, but as a Terran you can only really deal with lurkers with things that outrange them or have like, yeah, snipes like Ghost literally, but you can't deal with them with bio at all. So the thing is, Gerald needs to keep helping him on the bottom side. He's gonna get pushed again over on this side. I mean, Gerald still has a massive army, but at this point both of the red players are maxed. Another Nidus, that's probably barely gonna be cancelled. Really good bait there. Look at that, he's baiting the Zealots away. Oh, that was beautiful by Lambo. He baited the Zealots away. Sadly, there's nothing in the Nidus. If his entire army was in the Nidus, this would have been an absolutely massive play. Now, the income is probably... yeah, okay. I was gonna say, even worse than before. I think that's an understatement. There is no economy anymore. It's basically, they're a garbage dump right now. They're a garbage dump going up against the country. That's rough. Still going on with the counterattacks over here, and yeah. I mean, the first 2 games, you could say they just had good, you know, good cheesy builds, and the other team was unprepared. This game, ouch. 2 Templar getting zapped instantly. This game, they just outplayed them in the macro game, so this is going to be a very well-deserved best-of-5 win for Hearthstone and Lambo, meaning that we don't have to do a 1v1 between Nicorakt and Gerald to determine the spot, but Lambo is going to qualify for the grand finale. Now, this is not going to be the final spot that's given out, by the way. There's going to be one more open qualifier for 2 spots, so the winning team would qualify there. Now, let's see if Gerald can make some hyper... If Gerald would win 1 fight, or come close to winning 1 fight, I would clap for him. Yeah, exactly. GG is called, and yeah, that's going to be a very disappointing end for Team sorry. I was going to say Lambo and Gerald. Team Nicorakt and Gerald, and Lambo qualifies through to the grand finale.